Hey, yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City and Beat Source. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We got DJ Never here.
Yo, what up?
We got Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
And we got, one of the homies, the day ones over here. He's been on many episodes. He's been a co-host here. He's been a guest here multiple times. Maybe he's been on more episodes than MoMA, maybe. I think so.
We just don't count him as often.
I think he's got the crown.
That's tough. Shecky too is up there.
Yeah, Shecky's up there. When me and Neva moved to Vegas, Eddie McDonald was right there with us, and Eddie and Neva has been spinning together for decades, forever. And we're happy to have him here. He's the owner of Mac Agency, his own DJ agency that he launched years ago. And he's also been like the vinyl liaison, the master of crates. Like a curator of sorts, like the vinyl curator for Anderson Paak, DJ Pee-wee. Yeah. And I want to talk about that over here. Yeah. But we got DJ Eddie McDonald in the building. What's good, man?
Hey, good to be back, guys.
What's good, fam?
Nothing, man.
You're on the road. You're juggling a lot nowadays. You got this DJ agency you started,
right? And
then you're on the road with Anderson Paak.
Yeah.
And then you're in all these rooms with like celebrities and like millionaires and billionaires, and you're sponsored by Gucci. It's like all this shit's going on.
Different now.
You're like different.
I'm working on that.
Why you not rocking Gucci today?
Yeah.
I know he left the Gucci at home. Shoes. Okay.
Oh shit.
Wait, what's this thing with Gucci? They're just sending you clothes?
No, it's not that easy. I don't have it like that.
They gave you a discount code. What is it?
I mean, on occasion, I get some discounted stuff here and there, but I mean, the first interaction with that whole shit was crazy. It was when one of the first Pee-wee shows outside of Vegas that I got called for, Crystal Miles from Pack House, basically Andy's right-hand woman. She called me up and she's like, "Hey, we're booking shows. He wants you with him at these shows, and we want to know if you're interested in doing this." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh yeah, we have a gig in New York coming up on blah blah blah." Okay, she didn't specify that it was the Met Gala.
The Met Gala,
yeah. So one of the other shows we did before the Met Gala was we did a show at the Hollywood Bowl for Netflix as a joke festival on the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
And like, "Oh, we have to go to a fitting first during the day before sound check or whatever it was." And AP's assistant, Nori at the time, took me we wind up at Gucci, go in the back entrance, have everybody waiting for this fitting. They have all these suits and shoes lined up, and I'm like, holy shit, they're fitting me for a Gucci suit for this party. I'm like, this is cool. I was like numb to the whole thing. I'd never even walked into a Gucci store before. And I caught the bug, as they say. I mean, it felt good. I liked the experience.
Silk was nice on the skin.
And I'm like, okay.
Give you champagne while you waiting.
You get the champagne. Yeah, no, and I love the suit. I wish I could still fit in the suit, but I'm working on that. And then, I just, we would find ourselves in the Gucci stores a lot, especially being on the road with AP. We'd spend some time, and a few things caught my eye here and there.
So you're paying full price sometimes. You're getting a discount. Sometimes you get gifted.
Yeah. Sometimes you get, if we do an event with Gucci, they'll fit us for whatever. We could pick out whatever we want.
And you do like, I didn't know you wanted to jack it back kind of thing.
Wait, serious? I put my monogram on this thing.
Oh, you wanted this shit back? Yeah. I didn't know that.
I'm sweating and shit.
I'm really funky. I didn't.
Let me dry clean it and I'll send it back to you guys.
The dry cleaner lost it, unfortunately.
I left the stain.
Yeah.
Wait, so I want to talk to you because I think there's, everyone kind of like talks about this shit. Like, what the fuck is Eddie McDonald doing with Anderson Paak? Is he giving him the records? Like, you're like the whole process when we're watching Anderson Paak's obviously the showman, he's DJing.
Yeah.
And then you're like the bald white guy behind him.
Yeah.
And you're handing him.
We always kind of compare ourselves to Cuss and Mike. Customano and Mike Tyson. We always laugh about that, and AP and I always shared that same sentiment. It's like I'm in the corner, like you're doing this.
Yeah. So what's going on? Because everyone's thinking you're feeding him the records, and he's just kind of like playing whatever you get.
Pressing play.
No, he's doing it the right way, man. I mean, and it's always a collaborative effort. Obviously, I do the heavy lifting is just in the literal sense. I'm
You're the one lifting the crates.
I'm packing the cases.
Yeah.
If there's something, the first set of cases that I packed was on the record. So he came in unannounced. I had no idea it was going to go there. And if I can give you just quick Cliff's Notes context and little backstory.
Well, let's talk about the process now.
Okay.
And then I'll bring it back to where it all started.
Cool. Yeah. So the process, it's always a collaborative effort. So he like constantly, we're texting back and forth. If I wanted to bounce a possible addition to the set off of him, I'll send him a text, or I build, Apple Music playlists to say, here's some stuff that might work for this event. Let me know what you think. Some stuff you might know, some you might not, or, whatever. So we work that way. Or on the flip side, he'll be texting me like, yo, we need this one, we need that one. And if I don't have it in my collection, I'll get on Discogs, or I'll try and dig for it at a shop. Just keep an eye out for it. I have a whole list of stuff, like a things to buy list for Pee Wee.
Right.
That's it. And then as far as the night of the shows go, we'll do a little pre-shift. We'll like, what are you feeling? Okay, what's the event? What's the demographic like? What should we kick it off with?
First
what do you
song?
want to come out to? What do you want to come out to? The first record to come out to a lot was like Donald Byrd, Love Has Come Around. And that was it's great. It just had this great, like when you drop that from the top, that dynamic of that, the way it sounds just sounds like an event is going to happen. And on the 12-inch, it breathes for a little while, so he has some time to make it up to the stage and do his, presentation of his entrance and all that stuff. And since then we've been doing some stuff. Frankie Beverly for Before I Let Go, it has been a big one. We started doing that at some of the Chappelle shows in Texas, but we've also done like Paid in Full. He'd come up to Paid in Full. He's come up to Barry White.
I think Shecky told us about Paid in Full.
Paid in Full. Yeah, Shecky was at Hotel Ziggy, I want to say, and he's like, "Wow, I was not expecting him to come out to that." But it has a vibe too. It's great. The Dennis Edwards kind of bass line kicks in, and everybody kind of.
So he comes out. You're like manning the crates of records, right?
Yeah,
behind him.
Yep.
And then he's playing.
So we'll have our little pre-shift. What do you want to come out to, and then what do you want to get into? Yeah. And sometimes he might want to, after the intro record and after I intro him, he might want to kick it off with like Leave the Door Open. That's a pretty popular one to kick it off, break the ice. Like if you don't know who this is, now you're gonna absolutely know. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes we'll kick it off right with like some up-tempo hip-hop and pop type stuff, a Missy Elliott record or something like that.
Now, does he get nervous? Because, he's a performer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, he's used to, performing in front of a crowd. But then, like, when he's DJing, is there a little bit of nervousness in him or not really?
I detected it in both of us in the early stages because we're just trying to get the systems down. And he went 0 to 1,000, just from some social media stuff being shared from on the record, like to Coachella and Met Gala and Hollywood Bowl.
It happened really fast.
Yeah, really fast.
I want to talk about that. It happened like in a blink of an eye.
Literally,
yeah.
Like, I mean, it was,
but I feel like the way he marketed it and he just hopped right on it was like very
great.
Like,
and he's just in a groove. He has all the gear at his house. It doesn't collect dust. He actively uses it. He's constantly practicing and working out routines and putting records together. And he'll be like, "Yo, these three go great together. We need to work this into the set." So he's putting in the work properly, and now it just comes effortless to him, man.
Right. So let's say you guys are talking a game plan.
Yeah.
Let's say there's like you guys can both sense when there's an audible, like, oh, this isn't working.
Without a doubt, and that's what makes it so much fun too. So we'll get like we'll probably get like the first 3 to 4 records figured out just to get in the groove, just work out
see the reaction.
Right.
And what you like to start big, right? Let's start big hit him with a hit.
Yeah, and it also depends on how long we have of a set. I mean, we've done anything from like on the short side 30 minutes to ideally contracted we've done like 2-hour sets too, but there's nights where like if it's vibing, if it's dope, like on the record was a marathon. His first night doing the main room, I think, was like 4 hours.
Wow.
And that's impressive, man. 4 hours set on vinyl.
Yeah.
There's no bells and whistles. There's no crutches. Like you're either going to fucking do it or you're not. And he kept it going and he kept that crowd there rocking. So
it's impressive. You guys sense an audible.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
He looks at you and
he's in it. Like you said, he's an artist. He's an entertainer. He can feel that if the energy's there, if it's lacking.
And you sense it even more because while he's DJing, you're you're looking at the crowd reaction.
It's like a choose your own adventure book. It's like, here's the page you're on now. You can either go here for this possibility or this. So I could say we can go here, or we can go here. Or there's times where we'll turn to each other, and as he's saying the record he wants to play, I'm handing it to him.
Right.
So we're synced up, which is great.
Right.
You know, and that kind of chemistry happened pretty quickly, considering
so if the room is rocking and it's going good, in your head while he's mixing the next record, which you already know because you handed it to him, right? In your head you're like, okay, I'm gonna get these 4 records ready, right? Because we could go either way with this,
right? Which is similar to what I would do if I was the one playing the records too. Okay, got a break. Okay, this is a pot. You pull it off to the side and kind of it's popping out of the cases, and I'll present the same options to him. Like,
but if you were DJing, you would almost get lost in DJing sometimes. You know, because all of us will DJ, we'll get lost.
Without a doubt, and especially in the digital age now, you can kind of get lost in the DJing, knowing that you don't have to turn around and rummage through boxes of records. You got playlists sorted out. You could do some stuff. You got a little bit more breathing room, so that if you are so in your zone, you can continue to focus on that.
But you're like
and that's it. He needs to focus. He needs to focus on that crowd and being the showman and being the artist and the DJ.
You're like a consigliere.
I'm his consigliere of vinyl. Yeah,
yeah. It's like a caddy for like a pro golfer.
Right?
I don't know. You might want to chip on this. You might want to use the 9.
Yeah, you might want to use a 9.
9.
It looks a little further than expected.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yo, can you imagine how dope it would be if we had like an Eddie McDonald in our corner when we're DJing?
The next would be so easy.
Oh my God.
Unless you have to play Drake, he'll be like, fuck this shit.
I've moved on to him.
No, but someone to just tap you like you're kind of like this. You're like, yo, you doing good?
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I think you could go a little right and you could do this and that. Whenever you feel like,
that's a sense of like encouragement.
But you have someone on your corner.
You've done that to me when you're like, yo, you might want to go this way, and I'm like, that's a good way to go. And it helps you a little bit.
He's got that eye too, like, and he can sense too if he'll say we play something a little more off the beaten path to a straight up like commercially kind of crowd.
Right.
If we're able to go like Change, Lover's Holiday, which is a little deeper than for most. It's like, okay, if they react to that, now we know we might have a path to experiment with some other records that are a little deeper. It doesn't have to just be Got to Be Real or like just some obvious classics.
But I've seen some videos of him, and even when a record like if he drops a record and then maybe it's going a little long, or like maybe like he'll just hop on the mic and just start selling it, right?
He's always on his toes.
He just knows when he has to get on the mic and perform and do whatever, right?
I mean, like one of the first things that I saw outside of just the DJ performance that was kind of being developed as each little on the record speakeasy set progressed was I handed him Junior Mafia, Get Money, and accidentally the instrumental was played.
Oh,
and he's like, oh shit. He's like, I think I played the instrumental. I said, all good. He's like, yeah, fuck it. And he did every fucking verse. He even did Kim's verse.
He did Biggie's.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And that became like, he would do that like regularly.
Right.
Before like we started like working on how he could perform
those
some
happy
of his songs.
accidents.
Amazing. But he's so nimble.
Does the bust of arm over the
without that was
when my eyes could see.
Yeah, would come down. Yeah. Then it just kept on progressing, and where the show's at now, you get
now it's like there's like he's on drums.
Yeah, it's a full show.
They have a trumpet player too, right?
Maurice Mo Better Brown, who is multi-Grammy winning trumpeter, was the trumpeter he performed with Silk Sonic and Tedeschi Trucks Band. He was on the road with, and just really a well-respected and very very vibrant and crazy approach to his presence as a trumpeter. Really flashy, really tons of charisma, such a showman, and he's on every show.
He's like a hype man. He's
great. He helps. We do Soul Train lines now, and he helps orchestrate the Soul Train line with Andy, where he'll get everybody to kind of part the Red Seas, and he might kick it off. He'll go in the crowd, dance. His energy is insane. He's such an impactful.
So he's like
layer
the Spliff Star.
Yeah, he's Spliff Star. And AP is
the hype man.
Yeah. Right.
The flavor.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is so. It's so crazy because all of this happened so fast.
It did.
And then, so these are all your records, or some of it of Neva's, I think.
Well, I just gave him his
one of mine.
LaFace compilation.
Yeah.
We needed
Donnell Jones.
You know what's up.
Oh, really?
And I never had the 12-inch, and I was shit, I thought I had it. I mean, I can visualize, and I could have sworn I got it in a record pool.
That record traveled all around the world.
I just gave it back to him maybe 2 months ago, maybe if that.
Maybe Vinyl went on tour now.
I know, right? Went on tour without me.
So, but most of this is your record.
A lot of them are mine. He has a nice record collection in LA as well. So he'll Nights Over Egypt. I never remember Nights Over Egypt. I was like, "Do you have Nights Over?"
I know.
He's like, "Oh yeah, I got it." He's like, "Yo, I thought it was on this album." I said, "That's what I said. I have the Peaceful Journey."
Yeah,
I thought it was on that album. So did you?
Yeah.
And it wasn't, but he wound up getting his hands on it, and then.
So how do you keep track of who's?
Oh, I know. It's just one of those things.
Intermingled now.
It's so but I mean, and never you could speak to when it's your record. Like it's just like you have this. It could look the same, but which one is yours.
On mine.
Even without stickers.
The way
a crease, a fucking
exactly.
It's
remember,
Mark?
Do you remember wherever you bought a record?
Oh yeah,
because it was like you were either looking for it for so long.
Yeah,
there's like a little story to it every time.
Well, that's why it's so beautiful too. I mean, because it's just deep. It's not as exciting, and it's funny. I just watched this documentary on vinyl collecting and digging and just being a vinyl enthusiast. And somebody said, coming across an MP3 just isn't exciting, and it's not. I mean, it's great. You got it. You could play it. But to have...
It's like getting spam mail, right?
Yeah. It's
not that interesting.
No, it is. It's like when you get an email with an MP3, it's kind of like... It's like a publisher's clearinghouse mail.
I thought a CD, like an actual CD. I was like,
it's like this shit again. Like it's coming in and everything.
I guess I'll download it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of my stuff. So like I said, like the first... a lot of this stuff is mine, and I'm buying a lot of records too.
So is it your budget, or are you given a budget?
If there's specific things that he wants me to get, that I'll get, and some of them can get kind of pricey, I mean, but he always, I'll bill them back, and he reimburses me for specific purchases. But I'm always, every time I'm on Discogs, it's not just about me anymore. It's not about my 45 obsession or looking for Studio One reggae records and rocksteady shit. I'm like, I'm shopping for me and we.
Wow.
And
it's like a vinyl stylist.
Yeah, like we just got.
Oh my God, it's a perfect name.
Dude,
vinyl stylist.
I just started that we got the DuckTales soundtrack. He wants to play DuckTales at some of the things, which is so funny. I could see that, like
you guys are pressing certain things on your
we're doing some pressings that we need to. Like, I mean,
how do you get that done?
There's some
regular pressings.
Look, like a lathe. No. That's why you go to some companies. Like I've dealt with Tangible Formats, Tony at Tangible Formats.
They charge you like $50 a record, right?
It wasn't. But considering he expedited turnaround for us, so it was quick.
Yeah,
it's a lathe press. It's a little different than creating like the plate and pressing the vinyl down like fresh.
Was he going to buy like a machine? Oh, you talked about it.
I've been wanting to buy it. I've been wanting to buy it since the '90s, from dub plate, to cut dub plates and stuff for the reggae shit. But and then Vestax put that vinyl cutter thing out years ago. That wasn't it. Now there's a couple of ones I got my eye on, but who just bought one is Nick Bike. Nick Bike's been doing pressings, and he's been helping out as well.
Oh, really?
So yeah, shout out to Nick. He's been really helpful, and
he bought a vinyl press. How much of those?
He went to Germany. I want to say it was probably a few G's. Maybe I want to say
5,
maybe 5-6 grand. Maybe.
This is something.
I was thinking like 20,000.
I think the one he got, these lathes are kind of they'll take a 1200 and modify it and put all these additional kind of features on it or something. That's what I believe he has, and I see that a lot. Even the Tangible Formats guy, because they were featured in this documentary I just watched, and I think they have a similar kind of lathe cutting machine that they use for their stuff. And listen, I used them. We had to get the Silk Sonic stuff on vinyl. The Silk Sonic vinyl was
one of the first
delayed.
That was the first pressings that you guys did, right?
That was the first one, yeah. And then when we started doing like some mashups and like stuff that just wasn't out yet, some of AP's stuff, he did that record with Freddie Gibbs, Feel No Pain, which was crazy, and he wanted to have that with us. And the Freddie just came out on vinyl recently, but We had to do the Silk Sonic because it's like you have to play the Silk Sonic shit.
But there's like new pressings. Like everyone's putting out pressings now, right? For like new music. More than ever.
Oh, there's
before,
a lot. Yeah,
right?
I just bought like Peggy Goo on vinyl. She's got that poppy new kind of crossover. I just bought that 12-inch. It just got delivered. There's a lot of stuff that's getting pressed, man. Yeah. It's not a lot of it's not super cheap.
But how's the sound though?
That record in particular is really good. But there's a lot. Like, listen, I'm not gonna mince words here. Like the Silk Sonic vinyl was a huge letdown as far as the sonics of it. Like
double vinyl.
Single vinyl.
That's what
single, but there's not a lot of songs, so it shouldn't be a problem. So like you could still space the grooves. There's only 8 tracks, and one of them's like a blast, like a outro. One's an intro, like. But they waited so long to put that out. So this is, and I just have to vent here because it's kind of on topic, but I won't go off on too much of a tangent.
Yeah.
Silk Sonic presented everything so genuinely and so amazing how just the look of it, the sound of it, the songs were just great. The project was perfect in my opinion. Amazing. Brought Bootsy in to collab. He named them. I mean, it was like the whole story of it all, and it was done with the utmost sincerity and like attention to detail. It was done right. My problem is like that project came out as now vinyl sales started going on the upswing a little bit.
Right.
Leave the Door Open was released on a CD single that they made they packaged to make look like a 45. I'm like, why didn't you just make it a 45? Nobody's buying CD singles, but vinyl sales are on the upswing, and Leave the Door Open is a song that should be on 45. Right. And it's like, why are you, if you're going to make it look like a 45?
That was a label decision?
It must have been. And then, they waited and waited and waited and waited for that. That vinyl was so delayed in coming out that, we put a couple of copies together for AP to be able to play at shows. And it finally came out. And I'm like, yes, it's going to sound so much better. And it's really like...
Really?
Could use... But my idea is, and I really want to reach out to the label and maybe to some of the management involved in making that record. I would love to do a 5-year anniversary. So maybe I think that record came out in 2020 or 2021?
I think 21.
2021.
Yeah. So I mean, you do a 5-year anniversary, but get somebody like somebody like a Tom Bell, well, he passed away, or somebody that was a legendary like mixer and mastering guy from that, from Philadelphia International or from West End Records, or one of these like legendary guys to remix and remaster it and repress it on like a double, like maybe even do a double vinyl where it sounds even better.
Shit, I would say do a 45 box.
Or do a 45 box. I mean, there's so many, like I want to do so much stuff with it because still there's a huge demand. I mean,
is the market really, has it increased that much for vinyl?
Yeah.
Crazy?
Yeah. Wow. I think the last I saw it was like a report from maybe 6 months ago, maybe, that says it's like vinyl sales are the highest they've been in the last 2 decades.
For physical.
It's how selling CDs right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's great. That's beautiful, man. I love it. And some of it, there's some like hipster novelty to it, and there's also, I think, in the DJ world, I think there's a resurgence of vinyl centric promotions. You see the upswing of like the listening bars and the jazz kisses and the hi-fi lounges, whatever you want to call them, like the Dantes of the world. And, and that's a huge thing right now. It's a very hot concept right now, and
how did this all start? It started On the Record, right?
Yeah.
And On the Record was hosting the after parties, or this wasn't even, there were no official after parties for the Silk Sonic shows, right?
We locked those from the get-go. We knew, Selva Ray, who's Bruno and Andy's, that's their rum brand.
Right.
They were going to kind of sponsor and
so Silk Sonic were performing at Park MGM,
right.
which is
Adobe Live,
Adobe Live, which is like connected to Park MGM where On the Record is.
Yeah, right across the casino floor, like directly.
And you guys were having the after parties.
We're doing the after. We had done Bruno's after parties there before and stuff like that. So there was always a connection with his team and the Selva Ray team and stuff like that.
And then I'm trying to remember, the vinyl room is this kind of like VIP hidden room.
Like the vinyl parlor, we call it.
The vinyl parlor.
So it's, if you ever been to On the Record, there's a wall of cassette tapes that kind of will lead you to either the backyard or to the bathrooms if you want to go. There's a little selfie booth there, but on the left wall of that cassette wall is a place where you could push in, and a door opens and reveals what we call the vinyl parlor, and it's vinyl all over the walls, some speakers, tables with turntables built into them and stuff like that.
But I was asking these dudes, I was like, was there always vinyl being played there, or nah? It was like more like DJs would just.
No, I mean that was which is kind of weird because it's really such a DJ, like a DJ's place to play. Like it's so DJ centric and music centric. The whole aesthetic. I mean the tables are made of road cases.
Well, it's like it's built like one of those Japanese
jazz kisser kind of place,
whiskey bar,
right, which is
like I don't know if it was always like this, but at a Japanese whiskey bar, if you take one of the vinyls, there was vinyl displayed on the wall.
Yep.
These Japanese whiskey bars, you bring the vinyl to the bartender.
Yeah.
And the bartender would play the record, but there'd be a drink attached to the vinyl.
They did that on the record.
They still do that. People are still doing that.
Yeah.
Some people tried stealing some records off the wall. I caught a guy with fucking The Clash, London Calling under his arm opening week, and I said, "What are you doing with that record?" "Oh, they told me to take it." I said, "I promise you, they didn't tell you to take it." But they still do that. They won't necessarily play the record. They did have it set up so John Lyons, who installed the sound system there, did have it wired so that if the main room is being played in the vinyl parlor, if it's just being piped in, but somebody wants to bring a record and play it, or the bartender's going to play it and make a drink inspired by that record,
right.
As soon as that needle would drop, it was supposed to bypass whatever that program is and force the vinyl to be played in that room.
Right.
That never really...
I never went to play.
Saw the light of day, but still bringing the record to the bartender and having the bartender make.
Sometimes they'll come to the DJ booth and be like, "Hey, can you play this record?"
Oh yeah, which is like
no, no, man.
So
it was like really during the pandemic.
Yeah,
where like when Neva was doing his like Twitch. And he was doing like 45s.
45
on Friday with you, right? You guys were spinning 45
every Friday.
Every Friday.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. I'd pack my records, drive up to Neva's crib. We'd get a 6-pack.
We drink up the
do some shots. It was fun. It was fun, man. It just kept us kind of going.
During the pandemic, you guys were just doing that every week.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
And then as things started opening up, there were certain venues like Gatsby, like Petty. Yeah. Shout to John Petty at Gatsby. He was like, "I want to bring what you guys did on Fridays to like Gatsby."
Yeah.
In the resorts world.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of planning to see that there was like
Yeah,
there were like Vegas DJs playing vinyl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Right,
without a doubt. And as far as the on the record stuff, so real quick, pre-pandemic, we did an after party for Beck and Cage the Elephant. They were performing at Dolby Live. That was the first night we put a DJ booth in the vinyl parlor. Had a couple of guys from LA, Mark Baker, and I think the other guy.
Oh, so there wasn't really a DJ in the vinyl parlor, right?
Never. We had never had one, which is weird because you have a
pre-pandemic.
This is pre-pandemic. We never had one until not long before the shutdown is when we did this Beck party. And we had 2 guys DJing in there. Mark Baker, who played a lot of like synth pop type stuff, Depeche Mode, 80s stuff, which was great. And then they had this other guy, I think his name was DJ Frank or Frankie or something from LA. And he was doing more soul, funk, break beats, rare grooves type stuff. So it was a nice comp. But you were in there and you just felt like it was very kind of LA exclusive kind of vibe. Right. I could take it or leave it, but the
like
fact is, it
like
was
one of those
super,
LA hidden bars.
Right,
when you walk
it was super dope. But like Beck's in there, and like these guys show up, and it's like, where the fuck? Like this is so dope. Like it was such a great energy, and it added such a great layer to the nightclub as a whole. And furthermore, like you have a club called On the Record, you have a room called the Vinyl Parlor. Why don't we have a DJ in there playing vinyl?
Well, and also like On the Record, if you've never been there, there's like 3 kind of rooms. There's
right.
The main room that's like kind of top 40.
Current, I mean, you could still go back to Hypnotize and all, and get low and all that stuff.
Back,
and
you can go further.
Yeah, you can go further. Yeah, it's a very fun main room to play where you're not so
like a karaoke
pressured
room.
into. Right. Yeah.
It's like everyone just wants to sing along and
out.
Yeah.
And
then you have the outdoor patio where the notorious like London, the British
double-decker tour bus. Yeah.
And where the DJ booth is in there, and that's like usually throwbacks.
Yeah, nothing. I usually say nothing past 2005.
Even though sometimes every time I go there, I would hear blow the whistle.
Which that's
2005. They come out 2005 though.
2005.
No, it's crazy. No,
every time I go there, I'm like, I hear blow the whistle.
Yeah, I mean, there was one time I had to. Sean was concerned. He's like, "Why is the DJ in the backyard? It's supposed to be all throwbacks. He's playing Usher." Yeah, I'm like, I hate to. It's which is great. That was a big eye opener for me because I was like, holy shit. It put that in perspective. I said Usher, is currently what like Slick Rick would be when we moved to Vegas or something like that.
Yeah. Just about.
And I'm like, wow, so it fits in that. But it's fun. Again, you have a very broad paintbrush to work with back there.
But these two rooms really had like an identity and a character, and a kind of a formula that the DJ was following.
Yep.
But I feel like the vinyl room or the vinyl parlor didn't really develop till after the pandemic.
Correct. Yeah, right? It was just a one-off with the Beck thing, and we did it. We reintroduced it when we did the Mac Agency Hollywood the holiday like block party.
Yeah, which was like end of 2021.
Yep. And we did three of the party brands that we work with. Like Cricket does a party with a B-boy Smurf called Sound and Color, which is a huge hit amongst the locals. And we had that in the backyard. Main room, we did Tim Tones' party, Let's Be Friends.
Yep.
And we did Nick Lopez's party, Paradise Fever. We did all vinyl in the vinyl parlor.
Which is like a disco party.
It's a disco boogie funk shit like that. It's great. I mean, the way he presents
he's been doing that. It's in downtown for a few years.
Yeah, he kills it, man. He does such a great job.
Shout to Neek.
Yeah, Neek, what up? And that was like the sleeper hit. I mean, all the rooms were kind of going hard, but there was a fucking line around the block to get into the vinyl parlor to get in for Paradise Fever. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, man. So
it's funny. Like I've been speaking with MoMA, and like MoMA in New York, whenever he does Everyday People, I think when he does a certain venue, I forgot which fucking venue it was.
Yeah,
but there's a room where he actually just plays vinyl. Where he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to bring my vinyl, I'm just going to play it.
That's sick. I didn't know that. I love it.
He's DJing and like all of these like, young kids and like all of his like all the Everyday People crowd, they're going in there and they're just like vibing out. But then they're like, oh shit, you're on vinyl. That's crazy. Like you're playing on vinyl. Yeah. So they're just filming him. And I feel like that's like a process they just never really experienced before.
Right.
Like, the needle will skip on certain things that people were dancing too much.
Yeah,
but they're also hearing like the records kind of in its entirety a little bit.
Yeah, it's a whole yeah. So, dude, I mean, when we had the vinyl parlor at Intrigue, that was heavy after
which was the old Tryst.
The old Tryst.
Yeah,
and that's how Sean and I really reconnected really deeply with that. He came into Alibi. And
Sean Christie was like,
he opened that place up. He conceptualized a lot of the
let's
things
do a vinyl room,
and he went and they built the vinyl room, which. I mean, that room was so beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful. It's still intact. There's still records on the shelves. They use the place for special events.
Very new concept at that time.
Very cool. And that was
what year was that? Like 2000?
I moved back in 14, maybe 16
or 17.
16
it was almost too early, right? It was a little too early,
but it did its thing. I mean, it was like I said, it became a very heavy after hours vibe in there. Like when Excess would close, they shoveled everybody. It was also
everybody wanted to be in there.
It was also the most difficult room to get in all of Las Vegas, by bar none. I mean, it was fucking tight. I mean, from the celebrity opening weekend, I mean, it was Rihanna came in and DiCaprio came in and who's Goldie Hawn's daughter from
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson was in there and Sean Penn, and it's such a small room. So you're right, you're brushing shoulders with these people.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, so no. Just to your point, when you're talking about the MoMA thing, when people don't understand, they don't see this process sometimes. Skrillex would come in every night after his sets at XS, and he would close the place out. And he's so much fun. He's a great.
He would just
dude.
hop on.
He wouldn't necessarily hop on, but sometimes we did have Cascade hop on and did his first hip hop set. We went back to back.
That's crazy.
And it was fun. We went from playing hip hop
Did he have
back
shoes
to
on?
back to. He did.
I was wondering if he took off his shoes.
Yeah, but
and started playing. I don't know, Junior Mafias.
But Skrillex was like, "Yo, let's make it louder." I'm like, "Bro, you just got done DJing at Excess, man. Your ears are tired." I said, "We can't go any louder." And he like put his hand on the mixer, which I mean, go nuts, man. I don't care. He's a good dude. And we started getting like low end acoustic feedback. Right. So when there's too much reverberation on the needle,
you're
gonna
basically like a microphone.
And he's like, "Yo, what is that?" I said, "Bro, that's why we can't turn it up anymore, bro." I said, "That's acoustic feedback, man." I said, "You live in a digital age." I said, "This is not that, but all good." I mean, he just wanted to crank it up a little bit, but it's funny.
He was like,
it's a whole new world to some people, even guys as seasoned and as geniuses like Skrillex.
I remember when you did that room, we'd link up and you'd be like, "Oh my God, these celebrities are coming in asking for these songs," and I'm like, "This shit isn't on vinyl." Like,
right.
Asking for Drake,
right?
Yeah,
Future.
Man, I had some very dark moments in that room too when I was at the height.
Every time I would see him, he would be on the verge of like losing his shit because some celebrity came in asking for something.
Oh yeah, the One Direction. Yeah, I was like, yeah,
the One Direction.
But when one time they wanted to hear like a Drake record, and I hid like the Drake. It was like the Drake Future record. I hid it up on like the top shelf, and somebody spotted it. But I think that's Drake and Future, and I pulled it off and I broke it over my knee. I said, "Yeah, it's not gonna work." I'm such an asshole.
Sorry, Harry Styles.
Yeah. No, I was a douche. It was Liam something from it. Liam
Payne from
Liam Payne.
One Direction.
Yeah. He was looking at me like this fucking freak of nature. I'm like, what am I? I'm like, and I said, "Hey man, I'm sorry about that." So,
I just didn't want to put
But the politics, I never liked the politics.
I feel like you're such a politics guy now.
I mean,
you're like schmoozing with like millionaires and like celebrities.
Now.
I gotta be now. Luckily, I can come on here and vent a little bit.
No.
It's like smoking a pack of cigarettes all at once.
You know how many people like I meet and they're like, "Oh, you know Eddie Mack?" And they're like, "I love Eddie Mack." And I'm like, "How long have you known this motherfucker?" And they're like, "I love him. I love him." I'm like, I know you're like the guy now. That people like the Hollywood shit when they're like, "Oh man, I love Eddie Mack.
He's the best."
Yeah, he's the best.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I've known that guy for like almost 20 years. Right?
You know Eddie? Like, yeah, I've known him forever, man.
Did you know him when he was deep into his ketamine addiction?
I just learned about ketamine.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Yeah, but there's been like
this year.
And I remember like
it's very hot right
I remember seeing Eddie at after hours like 6 a.m. in the 2000s. And going up to him, and he just looked like he's just smiling. Yeah. And I'm like, "Yo, what's good?" And I'm talking to him, and he's like, "Sorry, I'm in a K-hole." And I would go up to Nevin, I'd be like, "Yo, what's a K-hole?" He's like, "I don't know what the fuck that is." I'm like, asking people. Yeah. They're like, "What the fuck is a K-hole?"
Yeah.
You were the first one to introduce me to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was always my drug of choice, as they say.
But we never got to him, how he got with Anderson.
Yeah, so
we want to talk about
so really jumping forward, I think as far as like the AP stuff, we left it like we did the holiday party where we reactivated the DJ in the vinyl parlor. Great. So that I forget which DJ booth we used that night. I might have had the booth that I bought by then. I went all over the place trying to find a compact, cost-effective DJ booth that would hold 2 turntables battle style and an S9, at least an S9, or like that, the smaller width kind of mixer, S11, whatever. Found one. I think we used it the first time for the holiday block party. Mm-hmm. And then I just brought it back to my office and just left it there if anybody wanted to play. So then I was like, you know what? I said, I told Alex, Edis, and whoever else was involved at the time, I said, I'm going to bring the DJ booth back in. I'm going to DJ all the Silk Sonic parties. I'm not even going to charge you. I said, I just want you to see what it's going to do. I'm like, of all times, Silk Sonic, it's like, okay, you got the throwbacks in the backyard, but you still got to create a party. It's got to have a certain kind of energy or certain kind of vibe. Main room, we discussed that, all more current stuff. I mean, the vinyl parlor could fill in all the blanks in between. So you can play like, the delegation "Oh Honey" or something in there, and it'll feel cool. Or you could play some more slow jams.
You just kind of deep dive.
Section. You could, and it's fun. And you do all vinyl. You know, I did nothing but 45.
So you did it for free.
I said I'm going to bring it in
because this fits the theme of Silk Sonic a little bit. If you go to a cool after party with Silk Sonic, this is the cool kind of
and you see room, see the crowds that are going to Silk Sonic. I've never in my lifetime, well, maybe since like Michael Jackson or somebody like that, have seen a band that you go to the concert, you can have granddaughter, mother, grandmother, and a teenage daughter, everybody in the family it'll feel good. It's approachable. They're not going to feel awkward being there. It speaks to everybody, and I never seen that.
It's a wider.
So it's like
wider audience,
right? Yeah. So it's like even for that reason, it's like like some of the older folks that go to the shows would love to see somebody come in and play 45s like they used to have and collect when they were kids and stuff like that. It's great. For whatever the reason is, it just was a good fit.
Right.
So I told Alex was totally fine with it. Dave Weiss from Houston Hospitality, as soon as he realized it was happening, he shot a text out to AP, and AP I think the reply was like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm coming in to play," or something like that. And Dave was just like, "AP's going to come in and play." I'm like, "Okay," and he showed up maybe an hour later, and I'm feeding him 45s, and I'm pulling records off the wall, just whatever he needed.
He just wanted to fuck around.
It was like the first, I was like crazy. And it was a lot of fun. He wound up playing probably a good 2 hours.
Wow.
And
everyone's phones are out.
I think we had phones that night, and then we started kind of throttling the phone usage. We were starting to lock the phones in like the Yonder cases and stuff because Bruno started coming in too. So, so after that first night, the next day, I get put on text with AP. I think Dave Weiss put us on text, and AP was just like, "Yo, that was so much fun, man. I haven't DJ'd since high school. I missed it." And he's like, "Can I come back and rock again on Saturday with you?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He's like, "Yeah, I'm just a little nervous on the 45s." He's like, "I never really played those before." I said, "Say no more." So he sent me a playlist. I also had an idea just because I've been a fan of his for so long too, kind of stuff that he would kind of vibe with.
When you kind of started hating all the new hip hop and the new music coming out, and you were still DJing, I remember you coming up to me like, "I like this Anderson .Paak guy."
You were such a fan.
I said, "We need more." Every time. I look back at my old tweets and my old IG posts, and I'm like, "We need more artists like this. This is it. This is everything." On the hip hop tip, it speaks to me. It's perfect.
You're the
soul tip, and he's a drummer, and he's just everything.
And the funny thing is, you hated so many new artists.
Yeah, you hated everything.
I was like, no,
he
I was
hated everything. Like 97% of all those artists.
That's even being generous.
And for you to say, like, "I like this Anderson .Paak guy," and then for you guys to like kind of click and connect,
it was the most beautiful thing.
That's
bro.
crazy.
That shit was like like manifestation.
Bro, you were
that shit was. It's still.
We even went to see him
crazy.
at the
Jewel? Where?
Well, it was Jewel now. Before Jewel.
Oh, Hayes.
When it was Hayes, he performed.
Oh, well, it was Hayes when he performed. It hadn't been Jewel yet.
No,
that's
it wasn't
right.
Jewel.
Okay,
it was Hayes,
yeah. Sick. Killed it. And I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
Like, he's on the drums and he's got his, like, I was blown away. Wow. I was blown away. But for this to be where it's at now is just kind of like still wild, man.
So he wanted you to kind of trade out some of the 45s with like 12.
So I went in and I went into my record collection and I built him about 4 or 5 record boxes of 12-inch vinyl, whether LP cuts or 12-inch.
And
whatever.
while this is going on, what's going on in your head? Like,
this is really cool. We're going to do it again. This is fun.
Right.
This is fun. Didn't see anything.
Shit. Not getting paid shit.
That Saturday, right. That Saturday, he comes back in, and Bruno comes in. And you got to remember, like, that room holds about 30 people comfortably, you know? And Bruno's kind of on the mic as his hype man, donned him Pee-wee. I think the Pee-wee, he started calling Pee-wee maybe at Silk Sonic rehearsals and sound checks or something. But first, AP was going under DJ Bing Bong. And then he went. That was like for 1 or 2 nights. And then
where did Pee-wee come from? Just
Bruno. I think Bruno named him. I don't know. He started calling him Pee-wee. I think I forget if there was anything deeper than that, but I know I believe it came from Bruno.
In LA, there's if you're called a Pee-wee, you're basically at the little
like a neophyte kind of a little homie.
Yeah,
okay, which I get that. I mean, I've heard. Yeah. And yeah, and then he was doing DJ Sputnik for a while, but there was like that shit going on with Russia at the time. I was like, probably want to change that.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, but yeah, so still didn't think anything of it. That night was crazy. Like that was my first interaction with Bruno too. So and Soxy was there, so it was kind of this very surreal situation going on. When, you know, I had an interaction with Bruno, and again, like just kind of the chemistry kind of materialized.
It was something special,
pretty
right?
quickly. It was just very fluid and very effortless.
There was something very special happening, and there was a buzz on social media because you saw these IG stories, that started getting forwarded to everybody and being like. And then it was like everyone wanted to go to these after parties.
Oh yeah, no, it was, oh yeah,
because you guys have had a lot of after parties. On the record.
Yeah,
but it was these Silk Sonic after parties where everyone was like, "Holy shit, we got to be in that room."
Everybody because like we
got to be in that room and see what's going on because it's becoming like this Vegas like Rat Pack.
Really,
thing,
that's what it was. It really took it back to that,
right? Like, where you're seeing like maybe Jermaine Dupri hanging out, or
bizarre, like insane,
and then
insane.
And then everyone's just kind of drinking, singing along to songs. So you feel like
and all that shit would happen. It's like you don't know who's gonna walk in. It's Vivica Fox. It's fucking Nelly coming in with JD and Usher, and it's like
which is kind of like old school Vegas when there was like Frank Sinatra.
No, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
Sammy Davis,
the Rat Pack.
Yeah, Sammy Davis would finish his show, and then he'd go with Frank and just hop on and just fuck around.
D. Martin.
They wind up at fucking Bootleggers or Piero's, like in a back room, like cracking jokes and smoking cigarettes till 7 a.m.
There's a couple of moments like that happen.
Yeah,
and I think the closest one that happened before that on the record was Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
was probably at Dre's. When they started having like Chris Brown there, and then like 50 Cent would come hang out.
That's dope. Yeah,
and it'd be like this hip hop Rat Pack going on at Dre's. Where all of these rappers and like musicians and DJs would just come and hang out.
Yeah.
and they'd like all of a sudden start doing 3 songs.
Nah, that's sick.
I'd be like, oh shit, Rich Homie Quan's here. Yo, do a couple songs, and then everyone's just fucking around.
Yeah. I love it.
But this was like another kind of moment.
This was that, and another one I also want to mention is also Brian Newman's After Dark show after the Lady Gaga stuff. Brian Newman is Lady Gaga's band leader, kind of trumpeter. And he does a late night show at Nomad Library, and it's very much like that, where he rocks it on his own. His wife Angie's involved. He's got a great band. It's also Gaga's band for the jazz.
That's
jazz.
Right.
And
that was in the 2000.
But Gaga will show up. Do a song. They'll have I think maybe Tony Bennett might have done it while he was still alive, and then I wound up in the green room of Brian Newman's green room. Next thing you know, Gaga comes in and she's actually singing in the green room, just putting on a little show. And I look to my right, I see this kind of scrawny, kind of little older white guy, and I'm like, oh shit. It was Robbie Krieger from The Doors. Yeah. And so we had Terrence Blanchard there that night. So it would be that too, where it could be Terrence Blanchard or it could be Ronnie Foster going up and doing something. It could be Robbie Krieger, could be Gaga. It was definitely, that was like up until like the Silk Sonic thing, that was like something that really hit me as like, wow, this is like a current Rat Pack kind of shit, But even like just his style and everything was very big band, very kind of from that era.
But it's dope when it's like organic, like what it's just like what you were doing, like you're there and you're not getting paid, and then it just becomes something
that
And but when did it really blow up? Like it started really blowing, like the second or third weekend, or
with the on the record.
So fast.
When did it start? That was my thing. When did it start?
March
2022. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then the gala was in May. So
so that makes sense.
2 months
away, right around there. And I think,
because like literally in 2 months, you guys were doing the Met Gala.
Yeah, I mean the funny thing is so that night, that Saturday night when Bruno came in, AP was asking for a record, and it was like kind of up on the top of one of the walls, and I had to step over somebody that was sitting. I said, "Excuse me, miss." I said, "I just got to get to this record," and I felt like some looks like, who the fuck is this motherfucker stepping over me? I felt it. And but I had to get the record because that's what I'm doing. You know, that's part of the gig, I guess. Whatever that gig was at the time, it was just like, And I get a call after that weekend or a weekend after, and it's from an LA number. Hi, Eddie, this is Crystal Miles from Paak House. I work with Anderson .Paak. He wanted me to reach out. you know, we know you've been helping him a lot with the records and stuff like that. It's been going well, and I wanted to let you know that we started booking shows, and he wants you with him for all these, and he wants me to find out if you'd be down to do some of these events with him.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll do some events. And, you know, the first two, I think, was Coachella for Soho Desert House. Yeah.
That was April.
That was April. Okay, so yeah, that was April.
So it hit the ground running fast.
And then that trip, we wound up doing two other things. We did an NFT party for Dumbfounded. Somebody that Dumbfounded was involved with, or some company, an NFT company we did. But also, we did Zenyara after Coachella. Zenyara is this amazing, like, sprawling estate in Palm Springs, in Coachella Valley. And it's run by my buddy David Corso. It's unbelievable. It's like something, that was like the first thing where I was like, I've never seen any shit like this before. And we did an impromptu set on the beach. They have a beach, but they also, on the other side of the resort, they'll have, like, they had Megan Thee Stallion that night. They had, like, Alesso performing that night. And we did the late night on the beach. Mm-hmm. The fucking left turntable wasn't grounded, so it was humming, but it was still such a fucking vibe. People, it was so new still, and nobody's seen it outside of on the record. And if you got to see them at Coachella, at the Soho Desert House, and that, you know, every time you play, it's like like giving a business card out to everybody, you know. So that wound up getting us to Italy, because we did a wedding in Italy, and the bride and groom were at Zenyara that night, and I'm like, we should do that for our wedding. Boom. Wow. We wind up in Ravello, and you know,
So it just happens so
it happened so it's so fast.
So even when you're on the phone and you know, they're saying, you know, Anderson wants you to come with him and tag along to all of these gigs.
Yeah.
Are you thinking, I mean, like, you have to think like, well,
got the business, got the
like, this is expensive. Like, we got to bring these crates. I got to, like, get,
which I know. I mean, listen, I knew I wasn't concerned about that.
Did you have that conversation, or did you just say, like, fuck it, I'll pay for my way and let's figure it out later?
Yeah, I think everybody kind of knew, you know, that there was going to be. I probably mentioned it, you know, excess baggage. And I mean, after the first weekend, I actually drove to Coachella. For that first weekend.
You said some vinyl was melting or something, right?
Not there. That happened in the Bahamas. No, but what happened driving back from Coachella, I had all the records in my trunk. And when you drive out to Coachella Valley, you're taking a different road, and it's like,
it's a bumpy ride.
Like these hills where, like, you, like, can go airborne if you go fast enough.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So I went up one of these hills. I didn't go airborne or anything, but when I came down, all the weight from the records crushed through the floor of my trunk. It's still broken.
Really?
Yeah. I still
Tesla?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It broke the fucking floor.
Yeah, well, it's the whole floor is only being held by, like, two little plastic nubs, so it just cracked the plastic. It's probably an easy fix, but I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we had the only close vinyl casualties we had was in the Bahamas at Baha Mar, and Forget Me Nots started to warp on the turntable, and Candy State and Young Hearts Run Free. But luckily it was so hot, I put it, and my record cases were packed pretty tight. I put them right back in, and it melted, and we still use those copies today.
It went back to normal.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you're probably bringing more than you needed, right?
I still bring more than we need.
Dude.
But it's just that mentality, man. It's like, you don't just bring for the show. You like, and that's a testament to what he does too, because it's not this set. Like, this is what we're playing. No matter what you look like, no matter how old you are, you know, this is what we got.
Right.
No, it's play to the crowd, feel it out. And when we were playing vinyl, we're bringing four cases, 5 cases, or in Scribble or Flashes or Kid Caprice,
They're
you know,
bringing
case,
like
they're bringing
20
18, 20 cases or something.
Wait, so how many are you bringing right now for?
Right now,
for
5.
Anderson Paak? 5.
5. But yeah, I mean, but it's 5. But the cases that I have, and I'm going through cases like
And
crazy.
these are real cases.
These are proper cases.
These aren't like the foam, like bag.
You're saying milk
No,
crates.
I was doing some of the trolley bags, like a Magma trolley bag, but that didn't hold up. That just literally fell apart on the road. I want to give a big fuck you to UDG. They make shitty DJ gear now. They used to make really quality bags. And I bought my first UDG bags, I would say, maybe 2003.
Yeah.
And they were great. And then they started making flight cases. I was like, okay, they look good, not too expensive. They say that they hold 80 records. I'm going to try them out. They didn't make one trip. They smashed the pieces. The handle fell off. They the wood smashed the pieces. And I said, hey, you can't sell a flight case that can't go on a flight.
It's made in Mexico now.
And like, sorry.
Bro, why you looking at me?
Oh, shit.
Fuck you. Made in Mexico,
It used to be made in Korea, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was gonna say, is it hard to find like calzone crates?
It's interesting. I don't. Well, those because now it's a whole different ball game. Now, like the amount that they charge. Because even though I'm billing back, I don't want to. I'm trying to keep costs as far down as possible for the team. You know. So I want to make sure I'm getting the cases aren't super heavy. Like, you know, one of the cases I was using was like a trolley case. The handle was too short, so I'm like bent over like this. It weighed 100 pounds. So some countries I wasn't even able to check that in.
Really?
Because they'll say you can have this much weight, but you can't have all that in one case. You have to separate it. It's not that we can't let all the weight on the plane, but one case can't exceed this amount of weight.
Right.
So I think we were in France, and I'm having to take. I was in France, and I had to take records out. Put some in AP's suitcase. Put some in his assistant's suitcase.
Yeah, man.
Israel, everybody. And I was like, this.
Wait, how much was the trolley? How much did it weigh? Like one?
Oh, I would say the case empty was probably 40 pounds.
So like
probably
maybe
empty.
150. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, the most I think I've paid for excess baggage was maybe 650.
650. What's the average?
Average is probably 300.
300.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, average is probably 300. And I'm trying to get it down. I'm always trying to slim down the sets. I'm like, okay, what has he not touched at all? Like, what would I be safe removing?
Yeah.
And you know, because I'm constantly buying new shit too, so it's like you want to filter some stuff out, and then you want to make room for the new stuff without having to add more cases to the travel.
And he's not going to go down to 45s at all.
No, I mean, I had a plan to pack a lot of the stuff from his set on 45s that I'll carry on with me. This way, God forbid anything happened, records didn't make it, the show will still go on. You know, I did that at times. I bought my laptop with some USBs where I'm like, worst case scenario, we could pivot and figure some shit out. But knock on wood, the only time I had issues with records not arriving was in Italy, but they arrived by the time we had to do the
you got to put like one of those Apple
AirTags. I know.
In each one.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah. Oh, you got one in each one.
I don't have them in the record cases right now.
Oh, you don't?
It'll probably get smashed up. There's no real pocket for it, and I would have to maybe tape it to the.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you better tape them
to the lid. Yeah.
But there's it's great. There's some companies that I started talking to and working with closely, like this company Travel Heavy out of the UK. I reached out. He sent us a couple of cases just to try out and get our feedback on, and he's got a beautiful design. Little dings here and there. I offered some feedback, and he's taking it. You know, he's making 45 cases now, removable lid. I just wish they held a little bit more.
Soon we're gonna see an Eddie Mack case.
Yeah,
damn, it's a long way from Jersey.
Egghead.
That's dope.
Yeah,
the Mac agency.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's fun to kind of keep my eyes out for this shit again, because it's not stuff that we shop for really on the regular anymore.
Yeah.
And especially not like, it's one thing you're gonna do a vinyl night. You could take like a trolley bag or like a little soft case of 45s, you know. But when you're, got to travel heavy with a lot of fucking records for a lot of events, it's like you got to get stuff that's going to hold up, because those fucking baggage handlers, they don't give a fuck.
Wow. So like you guys have been doing this for like what, a year and a half? Or
probably that. Yeah.
And so you got everything kind of streamlined now.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's always evolving though. It's like what can we throw into, what new performance track can AP do? Like, he started doing Suede, which has been going over huge, which is one of his No Worries songs. Got another one coming up that he's going to start doing. I should have the vinyl this week.
Nice.
Another Silk Sonic one, but he's been doing Smoking at the Window a lot. I mean,
You guys are doing Art of the Wild, right?
Art of the Wild for Guy Gerber's party called Rumors. Mm-hmm. And Guy Gerber's.
But that's like kind of the biggest kind of like DJ show you guys have had in Vegas, though, right?
It's fun. It's big. Yeah, I mean, we've done big shows, and even in Vegas, some big shows. This is big not only because it's a huge festival.
So international.
It's so international. Right. It's like the anti-EDM kind of thing. It's
all house.
It's house. It's deep. It digs deeper. It's underground.
So he's going to do a house set.
That's
right?
it. Yeah, yeah. So that's what's so exciting is this is going to be a different set that he's ever played. There's a lot of stuff that he plays on the regular that fits that vibe for sure. But we're going to be doing 90 minutes, and we want to definitely show.
We were talking earlier. I was like, hey, maybe get some of that River Ocean. Love
Love and Happiness. Yeah, I got that packed, and there's some classics. There's some new stuff. Yeah, some Sase is in there. French Kiss. Some old Martin Solveig stuff like that Madonna record, Salif Keita, little African.
Maybe some David Gray. Is that The Weekend?
Well, Michael Gray.
Yeah,
Michael Gray.
Yeah,
Michael Gray.
That's a great one. Yeah. Got some good shit in there though. And,
that's dope.
Yeah. So, and also like there's some 80s. You might hear like a Blue Monday or Donna Summer, I Feel Love. All that fits. And luckily, I got to go to the actual party in Ibiza a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And do a little
Look
recut.
at you!
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, we were on vacation. It was sick. I fell in love with it.
I tried to email Eddie and it said, "I'm in vacation till X date, so take somebody else."
I fell in love with Ibiza. Is just it's.
Yeah, because Neva and Jamie are on Mac Agency, your DJ agency.
Yes.
So I got a question for you guys.
What's up?
Is it hard for you to? You guys are happy for Eddie, what he's doing with Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
But is it also kind of like you're losing?
Our agent?
The main guy who's supposed to be looking out for your career because he's on Mac Agency, but he's traveling. So it's like when you need to get in touch with him, he's in Ibiza. Or he's he's in the Gucci store.
I can't lie to you, he's pretty easy to get hold of.
Yeah.
But there's times where I'm like, never, have you spoke to Eddie? He's like, nah, I think he's in a plane to Europe or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll just email him.
I'm usually pretty excited.
Whenever I need to get in contact with him, he always hit me back right away.
Yeah.
So,
they're kind of like, what do you like? Where's my drink tickets? Like, only when
it's something serious. Other than that, I don't bother him. But
man.
What's an emergency that would require you to bother him, knowing that he's on tour with Anderson .Paak?
There was one instance for me a few weeks ago.
Omar's being a dick.
I mean, that's not an emergency if it happens more often. But I was doing a pool, and then the thunderstorm came out of nowhere, and it was raining, pouring. And I texted Eddie. I was like, yo, what do you want me to do? He goes, just stay there. Don't move because we still got to build it. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to shut the fuck up and stay in the water.
Yeah. When in doubt, right, we had a rule, right? If the laptop comes out and I plug in.
I had to tell Jamie that.
Yeah. I was there.
No matter what happens, just take your laptop out and plug it in. And if the laptop is out and you're ready to go, just stay as long as possible because it's like, even if they're like, we don't need you, if you're there for an hour and a half, you're like, I'm here for an hour and a half.
And then I was recording the water and I'm sending it to Eddie. I'm like, just so we have
paper trail.
This is happening.
I got receipts.
Eddie, we used to say back in the days, once we get to the venue, once you put that laptop down and open it, they got to pay us regardless.
That's it. That's it. It's the Mac Agency.
And honestly, and even though it's not going to happen, you just always like speak like positively, like, oh, like, I don't know, maybe this could happen. Like maybe it could turn out. You just say, stay
they just
ready.
give it a time.
Hey, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I'm really looking forward to playing for 6 hours.
Maybe I'll just play some songs and then we'll see where it goes.
And then the venue finally called it a day when it started raining sideways.
Yeah, right.
And then Eddie's like, okay, I think we have enough proof.
Now they owe you the fee and a new laptop. No, just kidding.
But it's not been hard. It's actually been cool to be like, oh yeah, you're a Mac Agency, and so is Pee Wee, and
be honest. There's it's a little tough sometimes.
And not with him though.
Stop trying to bait them. Jesus, come on.
He keeps his working pretty.
Be honest, Mac Agency is falling apart. He's going on tour.
Thank you, Pee Wee.
He's getting a big head. He's treating y'all like shit. Why am I wasting my time?
I'll let him know.
Homeboy's gonna come snatch you guys up. Who was that you had on? That was like, oh wait, so is that who works with Justin? With you guys with the 3-day?
Oh, Marco Penta.
Marco Penta's gonna be like grooming us.
We got guys. We got a backup plan.
Yeah, we have.
Shit doesn't work out.
Marco's on speed dial.
Marco's gonna be like Suge at the Source Award.
Yeah.
If you don't want your agent. Yeah. All in the videos.
With the wigs on.
With wigs and shit.
Your gigs.
Come down to 3-day weekend.
I can't lie though. Eddie keeps us pretty fucking busy. Like even though he's busy half of the time traveling, we're steadily working.
And I think all these guys know too. I mean, especially like when we started getting noticed and when we kind of got put on the map, it wasn't for any of the Pee Wee stuff and stuff like that. It was
I mean,
a lot
that
of just
helped
the
a lot,
sheer.
right?
No, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm getting at. Is like we got known because of the amount of volume that we were blessed to have. Big part to Sean Christie when he was at MGM. That was it. We had a lot of opportunity that was put on our plate for our DJs, which was beautiful. But I mean, we want to kind of always raise the profile too, and
Right.
like the Pee Wee thing. I mean, the bonus, it's a win-win because I get to work with like my favorite artists in the last several decades. Yeah, and so that's still surreal. But also, I mean, listen. I mean, he's a beast. I mean, and the fact that he's down to rock with Mac Agency, I'm honored.
So Anderson
and
Paak's on Mac Agency.
Pee Wee is on.
Pee
You don't
Wee's
do.
on.
I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
DJ Pee Wee.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he works with Caroline Yim.
He's also on
with
CAA
WME.
though, right? Like all that.
As Anderson
Full
Paak.
Stop Management, so that's Irving
Okay.
Azoff and Jeff Azoff's
Right.
company. His manager is Anna Savage, and then his main agent that he works with WME is Caroline Yim. And AP was just, I was on a flight. I think we were both traveling somewhere from a gig together, but I don't think we were on the same flight. But I remember I got a text from him, and he's just like, "Yo, fam, I want to be down with Mac Agency." And I was like, "LOL." I said, "Caroline will kill me." And he's like, "No." He's like, "No." She's like, "She doesn't handle the Pee Wee stuff exclusively. I want to be down. Like, let's
Right.
do it." I said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Done." I said, "I'll get an artist page up this week." And we did the announcement. And
So I have a question. So do you handle all his DJ gigs?
not not exclusively, but we like I said, Caroline can handle some other Maurice books
Right.
books them sometimes.
So whatever
Crystal
goes through you
books them.
goes through
Right,
you.
right.
And it's
That's
then-
it. Right.
And then, but if his management already has pre-existing gigs, they get whatever.
Absolutely.
And then you get your,
and they're amazing.
your
Some of the stuff
right.
that they like, I learn from them every day. I'm inspired by like getting to work with Caroline because she's a legend. She runs the whole like hip hop and R&B department at WME, I believe.
I remember when all of this was like unfolding, and it was just like it just happened so fast.
Yeah.
And I remember talking with these guys, and some people were like, "Oh shit!" Like there's Mac Agency is gonna fall apart because Eddie's gonna be a part of like Anderson's like camp now. He's not gonna have the time to juggle Mac Agency.
Yeah,
but
no.
I remember telling them like, "Yo, you guys got to be patient because like Eddie's gonna be in rooms with people he would never be in rooms with now." You know what I'm saying?
No, it's all for like. Listen, that's why I said it's a double-edged plus because
Right.
I'm getting to experience this with somebody I admire so and respect so much.
Right.
But then also there is value that this whole thing brings to the company. It's put eyes on us, not necessarily even just me in rooms with some people. It just put eyes on us that would not normally have been there had we just been, kind of staying the course. It might have happened eventually, maybe, but it definitely kicked things into gear.
And I can't lie, even I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Like you still, even me as an individual, you help me get into different rooms. We're working on different rates, and you're still very hands on with my situation.
Yeah, I mean it's.
And I think you do that for a lot of us.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't want to lose sight of what, like my main thing that I'm building is Mac Agency that continues to grow. So and I don't want to compromise any of the things that I started it for because of this opportunity. You just have to pivot, restructure, get your time management sorted out, maybe pick up another team member or two. Luckily, I mean Omar's he's great to kind of keep eyes and ears. He's very OCD, meticulous.
Omar,
great with the emails. We complement each other very well.
Omar Gallano.
Right.
He used to be at Tao Group.
Right.
He was
the corporate
menace,
program director.
He was a menace over there. Yeah. But he actually, he made a lot of great DJs even better.
That's it. So if
But he is
dwell
a
on
psycho. He's an absolute psycho. Yeah.
He's in a different place now, but a lot of the people that he worked with.
He's still a fucking psycho.
Listen, I've known Omar since the '90s, man, and we've always kind of.
Oh, you known him since back in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, Jet East.
Jet East,
Jet
yeah.
East. He'd be at like Conscious Point. There was always so much camaraderie and kind of I guess Jason and Noah's company back then was Strategic Group or something right?
Yeah,
It's called
Strategic
Group,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we would be at Jet East, Neva and I would be there, and then right down the road, you go down North Sea Road in Southampton, and you're going to hit Conscious Point, where Lizzie Grubman drove over everybody.
Drove like
I remember
bunch of
that.
people
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So they would send us DJs. That we would send them. I think you played Conscious Point.
I
didn't
did.
you?
Yeah. Mhm.
And I think I did once. I remember Eric Salas was still in the mix. But in any case, we did a lot of like cross.
Actually, it's so funny you mentioned Lizzie
like
Grubman. The night I played, that incident it happened the night before.
Yeah.
So the doors was like all taped up and shit.
And then Lizzie Grubman was like a PR like phenomenon. She's like the
she's
biggest PR.
The daughter of Alan Grubman, who's like this, like high powered, doesn't even scratch the surface. He's a monster. And
This
he's
was a
legend.
big deal in New York. It was like
was, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
It was-
wildfire.
yeah.
Lizzie had a PR firm. She was also the ex-girlfriend of our former boss, Andrew Sasson. And so she was a little bent out of
She
shape.
had a good time that night.
Yeah. But that shit, long story short, she like drove her car into a bunch of like people in line, and like I think the bouncer in the front of the Conscious Point, and fled the scene. But like that story spread through all of the Hamptons in minutes.
Oh
in
man,
minutes.
right away, yeah.
Yeah, it was on page 6. It was like in
Yeah,
all the
shit
New
was
York
crazy.
newspapers. It was on the
The
news.
news,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember that shit. It
Yeah.
was really big.
Yeah. Shout out to
Yeah.
Lizzie.
So then, you're working with Omar Gallano, right?
Yeah.
And then so when you're on tour, he's juggling everything.
Yeah, and it's still a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Like, dude, when I was doing everything alone for a long time.
Yeah.
Then Omar and I crossed paths again at On the Record in the backyard, and as we were saying goodbye, I was like, you know what? I knew I was ready to take it to the next phase as far as growing the company. I knew it was more.
I remember meeting with Omar and like us having lunch or dinner, and I told him like, yo, you should talk to Eddie. Because he has this like agency, and
he was
might
doing
need
some
help.
consulting work.
Right.
He was living in like San Diego for a while, and he had just moved back to Vegas. And long story short, we connected. We met up in the office that week. We chopped it up and caught up for a few hours.
Sounded perfect, yeah.
What year was this? How long?
2019.
I'm asking him, Jamie.
I'm helping. I was around. That's why I was working with Shecky at the office, and I
It was it was 2019 because he wasn't in the mix for when I did Massive. Massive was September of 2018.
Massive.
So this was
Actually,
sometime.
I thought it was on before that.
No, I don't think so.
He moved
Right
back to
before the-
Vegas.
It
Though.
might if it was, it might have been either right after Massive, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, he
Either
moved
late
back. Yeah,
18
Omar hit me. He's like, I'm back in Vegas,
Yeah.
and then me and him were like always homies. Even though he was a psycho, we were cool because we used to hang out and shit. But like, we had dinner. We was talking. He was kind of seeing what he wanted to get back in, but he was just kind of like, where should I go?
Yeah.
I remember listening a couple of things, and I was like, you should talk to Eddie and see what's going on because I think
No,
that's
it worked out really well, man. We and to your point before, like, we'll cross, we were working with Bella years ago,
Right.
and she would say the same things too. Like, we had some terse moments, some difficult moments working under his,
with Omar,
supervision, but he did everything he did with the best of intentions, and everybody said I came out of it stronger and a better DJ. So he's got some kind of recipe. I mean, so shout out to Omar.
I mean, Omar is basically maybe he created the formula for Tao at the time, or maybe all Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Nightlife.
We really he almost maybe created the Vegas formula of like starting the night at 12:30 with this big show, and then play all the big records.
He definitely it was a formula that he was like the Grandmaster Flash of like program directors, where Flash was like, if you do that, like all this like these like algorithms and like equations and stuff. Omar had a system down.
Yeah,
it was
because
way different than like, but it speaks to kind of how we are. I'm kind of like off the top, kind of loosey goosey about everything.
Well, us three, we came up in a different Vegas formula because we were coming from New York, so we did the whole night. And Omar introduced this formula of like the headliner goes out on 12:30, but it's like the show starts. It's like everything
Big
changes,
explosion,
explosions, like Cirque du Soleil, everything comes out all at 12:30. And then it's play all the biggest shit for 30 minutes, and then kind of bring it back down, and then hit him again. And he had this whole thing that he had.
Yeah, so I mean, he's it's been definitely a yin yang situation, professionally speaking.
Yeah.
Like where like he definitely, I couldn't ask for somebody better to support during a time like that, because that's not something that there's no thought process. Yeah, there's concerns like when you're given that offered that opportunity. The answer is yes, right off the top. Then you figure out how you're gonna figure everything out, you know. And shout out to Soxy, she was supportive from the get go, and you know was still so excited for everything that's happening. So, and then you know. Fast forward and we pick up some more personnel as the Pee Wee stuff continues and gets bigger and stuff like that.
Well, you guys are expanding now, right? Mac Agency is is it branching out? I think you.
Well, we're fine. Yeah, I mean, we want to start planting seeds. I mean, we can't do any more in Vegas. I mean, there's always room for improvement. But
right.
I mean, our presence is felt in Vegas, and there's other key markets where I feel like we just don't have much of a presence in it.
Yeah.
Like even like hometown stuff, whether New York or Jersey.
But with all this work that you've been doing with DJ Pee Wee Anderson Paak, with vinyl, now you're launching like a new collective, like a vinyl collective.
Yeah,
right?
well, we have a lot of guys on the roster. Pee Wee obviously at the forefront,
right?
You know, as he's just the biggest artist that we work with, and he just happens to do all vinyl, which is amazing. But but we have guys like Neva, we have Stretch Armstrong, Scratch Bastard, Easy Mo B. Just a lot of cats. You know, a couple of new additions that we're going to be announcing soon.
Yeah, Nick Bike,
Mayor Hawthorne, who we just announced.
Oh, great!
Yeah, we just announced him last week.
So you're starting this new. It sounds like you're starting a new agency of vinyl.
It's like a sub roster of Mac Agency. It's called the Mac Vinyl Collective, MVC, and yeah, we're excited to announce it. It's going to be anything from just showcasing the vinyl DJs on our roster.
One-stop shop for vinyl DJs.
Right, because I mean it is hot, so it'd be crazy not to capitalize it. But we were always there also. But now we're kind of.
I think it's genius.
We're excited.
I think it's perfect timing.
Yeah,
I think it's almost like organic because it leads to this whole story, and then this whole new collective emerged from what you and Anderson were doing.
Yeah, no, we're
and then what you were doing with Neva, and then what you were doing previously at the old Tryst spot. Which
it's just it never went anywhere for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're still like it's 20 years ago. Texting only we were texting pictures, showing each other what we bought. Just get this, just get that. Chalvoy too. We're all like in the look. This is my latest order on Discogs. It still excites us. It's just a part of who we are. Yeah. And now we're gonna, just put it out there, and it's a part of everybody on that roster. I mean, they're about it. Like, it's not like you just, you just went to Zia and you bought
you jumped on the bandwagon
records, and now you're a vinyl. This is like.
So when you launch this, Neva is gonna start having to carry crates. To out of town gigs and venues and events. Yeah, are you ready for that now?
We might have to get him a TM.
The hyper analytical guy.
I'm gonna do all 45s. Honestly, I might bring a couple of 12-inch records, whatever, but majority is gonna be 45s.
Yeah,
which is easy to carry.
Same. Yeah, I mean,
travel with.
How many cases of 45s would you carry?
2 to 3.
Like 2,
2.5. But you can just carry them on the plane.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to check anything in?
Nothing.
No.
That's great.
So you'll be the 45 guy.
45s on a Friday.
Yeah.
And they're going to we really want 12, like a 12-inch guy.
Yeah, it's strictly
that was really a 45 more.
Right.
No, it's crazy.
That was I still am a 12-inch guy.
Snow on wax, baby.
God, man. Yeah, so we're really, really, really excited about it, and we got a great crew. And we're gonna be targeting and doing a lot of outreach to some venues that specialize in that stuff. Some of the the Dantes of the world, and we're really tight with the Dantes crew.
Dante's Hi-Fi in Miami.
Yeah. So good, man. Shout out to Sven and Rich Medina. And that whole crew, man. They got something special over there.
Yeah, I mean that spot really is really the hot spot in Miami.
As far as name recognitions for vinyl parlors that are focused not only on just playing vinyl for their guests, but it's so DJ focused, and the talent they get in there, because there's some listening bars that'll just be like the person behind the bar might be playing the records and be the selector for the evening, and
very similar to Vegas. Miami nightlife can be just over extravagant. It could be very tourist based.
Right.
You got these mega clubs like Live, Story, these huge clubs.
Right.
That for the cool locals, industry people who want another taste of Miami, they can go to fucking
go to Wynwood. Yeah. Whole different energy, whole different vibe.
But there's that Japanese kind of vinyl whiskey bars just popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
I was telling you, I was in Mexico City earlier this year, and I ran into Mickey Perez, who was spinning there, and it was just, and he was doing a bunch of spots with Nick Demas. And it was just cool. And I was like, I remember I texted you.
I know, yeah.
And I told you, I said, like, look, like, you know, because I talk with Nev all the time.
You texted the group chat for sure.
You know, I texted the group chat. I'm like, yo, Nev, like, you know, there is like a market for vinyl DJs. Mm-hmm. Like, could you imagine
said that at the top of the year, yeah.
Yeah, at the top of the year, I was like, yo, like you could travel and do this on the side if you want to. Like, you know, like, I don't know how much the pay is, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I was like, it's fucking great to just like, imagine traveling the world and playing vinyl.
I know, yeah.
It's just amazing.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to this new.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming in.
Locally.
6 months in, he's been like, I'm tired of carrying it.
I need an assistant for this.
I might need to hire someone to carry the crates for me.
He's in his own Eddie Mac.
These needles are getting expensive.
Damn, bro, it's not the same as before.
Well, it's like even like when Jeff, Jazzy Jeff, put that video, and I shared it to my feed as well because it kind of hit home, and like he had like these really cool words to say when he was preparing for his set at Dante's. He's like, I don't really do it a lot, like, but you know, reconnecting with my records just makes me, you know, realize how we've been disconnected. We've kind of grown apart from tangible music, and it's just like I forget. I don't want to do him any injustices because I haven't listened to it in a while. But yeah, it's a special thing, and so not only are we stepping in just to offer DJs and really a great assortment and multiple tiers of talent within the vinyl collective, but also serve as even like consultants. If you want to do vinyl concepts, you know, we can help keep the integrity intact, even if we have to bend a little. If it's like some like on the strip kind of concept where you can only go this deep. It should be presented well. If you're going to do it as right as you can. Do it right, but I mean, obviously, you got to find that sweet spot.
Here's a question.
Okay.
Do you think this market or this demand for vinyl, like, did you see it firsthand when you were on the road with Anderson .Paak, where like people were like, we want this, like this is amazing, or did you just start in your head seeing like, oh, like this is slowly like something that we can build and capitalize on?
I think like the timing of everything was so perfect. I think the resurgence of vinyl was happening at the same time, and I'm hearing all the reports of the sales, how high the sales are. You know, that had nothing to do with why Andy wants to play vinyl,
right?
You know, but it just, again, that organic kind of approach to it. That's just what he wants to stick to.
Right.
That's what he learned to DJ on in high school. He likes to be able to touch and feel the music and manipulate it, and so that was just pure coincidence that happened when it did.
Yeah,
it happened to be vinyl. But it's funny, like a lot of times, like almost all the time, every show he'll say in some of his opening remarks, it's an all vinyl set show, no computers, and the crowd goes nuts.
Right.
So, and that gets bigger and bigger. I mean, and that's been everything to, you know, Bungalow in Santa Monica to arenas, like when he announces that, and, you know, he'll say that, I'll hold the record up, and, you know, and the response is huge just when he mentions the vinyl.
Yeah. But
So-
when I think of like private events, when I think of like, you know, Fashion Week, when I think of corporate events,
Yeah.
I think like vinyl is perfect for that.
It's great.
It's almost like-
it's just like, listen, when you find out Anderson .Paak is DJing, I mean, that's exciting in and of itself, and people are going to want to book
Right.
it. The vinyl is just another layer that, real talk, he doesn't have. Like, I mean, he could have easily taken the computer approach. It's just not. It doesn't speak to him the way vinyl does. So,
But I think there's something like extra sexy and like classy and
Oh, no,
elegant when you're
without a
going
doubt.
to like, you know, like an event and there's like a DJ on vinyl. There's just something like there's an extra depth. It's
Without a
like-
doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
It's
And
like a
that-
really good scotch. It's
Yeah.
just like there's like something earthy.
Oh, like even when we did, Saxy and I did the opening of Flanker for Sean. Flanker Kitchen and Sporting Club at Mandalay Bay. They opened up the Vegas location, and we did all 45s.
Wow.
And like from the media people, local media, just old school, like people were blown away.
Wow.
You know, and it does add something.
It does.
It's something, yeah, that just kind of.
It's like it's kind of like when you see like chefs like work with their hands and like they're
Right.
they're kind of working old school, like
Right.
old craft work.
Yeah.
And you see the DJ, and it's like a very rare craft. That
Right,
you
like
see
you're
live.
not
right.
You'd rather go through and make your house a mess with piles of records to try and figure out what people are going to want to hear in this 3 or 4 hour DJ set, rather than just packing up a laptop. Like you're going a little bit the extra mile, and you're not really, concerned with how much time consuming shit is going to be put into this set. You know,
there's like an extra layer of depth. It's like knowing the chef is working with local farms, or they have their own garden.
Well, even like when Daft Punk did the Random Access Memories album, there was a story. They had I think the song was called Giorgio, and it was featuring Giorgio Moroder talking over it. But when they recorded him, they specifically wanted to record him on 2 different mics. And they weren't going to use the other one, but they wanted to use one of the mics because it was like the mic that he voiced Donna Summer with. They wanted to just replicate that, even though they had really no intentions of using that on the final product. Yeah. It was just that attention to detail and going the extra step just for some artistry shit, you know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. And I see like a lot of similarities with like the vinyl stuff,
I think it's going to be, it's going to be great to just see, just to see, like, I would love to just see a schedule, like, posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
Of a bunch of vinyl DJs.
Oh, you're going to see that really soon.
Like, busy on a weekend.
Yeah.
I think it'll be amazing to see that. And I've noticed more DJs, like, digging into vinyl a little bit more, showing, just showing, like, oh, this is my finds this week. This is what I bought this week.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that in the last 2 years. Maybe, like, during the pandemic, a lot of these DJs have started like digging a little bit more. Wanted to like expand their crates and their collection. But I've been seeing it, so I'm kind of curious to see what happens with this new collective that you guys launched. And then to see how busy you guys get, and then to see like maybe a new generation of DJs just come up and just maybe start like collecting vinyl.
Without a doubt. I mean, I hope it inspires some guys to give it a shot.
The only thing that's going to suck about that is if that happens, it's going to be harder to find vinyl.
Oh, because
everybody's been buying vinyl again.
Yeah, but they're going to be buying like Justin Bieber on vinyl. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it's kind of like what I've seen with like reselling. So like rap tees or like sneakers. Like everything just kind of gets like bigger. And it gets a little bit more expensive, and then everyone's like, "Well, everyone's fucking us up, and they're making everything so expensive."
But those are the purists of the group that were there before.
But it's just kind of like it's just what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. But I'm really curious to see how sustainable or like how long this lasts.
But the guys that were there first are always the most respected. So if you're there first, you're kind of like the cowboy that went over the hill first.
Yeah,
they're gonna be some type of respect there. And I think there's a lot of people know who those guys.
But I think it's great that you have this, like, are
we going to see you at a retirement, Crooked?
I would play vinyl, but I
always want to see you do a vinyl set, because I've never seen you do a vinyl set.
The problem is, man, like, I don't know, man. Like, I have to go, like, all my vinyls in New York, I got to go through it. It's at my mom's crib.
Yeah, shit.
But I got a shit ton of vinyl. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know how I would approach a night with vinyl.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Like when Intrigue opened, there was a lot of there was some muscle memory that I was like, okay, obviously I remember how to do, but it was very nerve wracking because that was like the first vinyl shit back from years of digital DJing.
I don't even remember.
So I was like, shit. The songs in I don't know what the fuck I have nothing lined up. I can't even do control left or like load the next deck with just something to not have dead air. I have to find something physically.
And also there's just certain songs. There's certain songs where you have to mix out in this one.
It's like your only exit strategy.
And you can't bring it back.
After that, it's like a wrap.
Right,
it's like, oh shit, I'm stuck listening to the rest of this. And if you miss that 4-bar, 8-bar outro, you're kind of fucked.
And I'm like,
but you got to remember that shit.
At the time, I'm like not on the mic, and I don't even think we had a mic in Intrigue. But I wasn't on the mic. Like I couldn't even like do like a segue, killed some time trying to talk some shit. I would have been a nervous wreck.
Yeah, but I don't like. I was trying to say like I don't even remember how I organized my records.
Yeah,
like I know one crate was like.
I remember at mom's is like I used to have like a bad boy,
Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Electra, every R&B, the reggae.
But did you organize it by BPM or just
You know
eras?
what? I never fucked with BPM until I started DJing on Serato.
Wait, but I mean,
I never paid attention to the BPM.
But I'm saying, like, you know what was close in BPM,
Exactly,
so you would
yes.
have them close together, right? Kind of.
Kind of.
So it was kind of BPM. And
kind of. I was about to say that's crazy if he didn't do that.
No,
for
actually,
Serato.
no, not really, man.
No, the thing is, like, we didn't know the BPM, but like Tambourine, we know was like we would put
We knew
that,
what to match.
103.
we would put that with "I Just Want to Love You," and we would put it with "Crazy in Love," and we would put it like you know. But even like if I had classics, I probably was like not even knowing it, but I would start with like, you know, Mary Jane. Going into like All Night Long, and then it just progressively
And then you
sped up.
speed it up, yeah.
And
Don't
it's
look
like,
any
you know,
further.
but-
Outstanding. Do that standard
It was
New
just,
York
like,
City
all together,
classic set. Yeah.
And then it was like Never Too Much, and then you
Of
got
course.
into like
Yep.
Prince,
Yep.
like
Rises
all the
to the
Prince
top.
records.
Oh, no, when you go up there,
Exactly. Michael Jackson.
Yeah. But it was like, we didn't know like, oh, this is 96 BPM.
Nah, not at
We
all.
just
Never
knew like,
that never
knew
appealed to
of
me. I know a lot of people do that stuff. Like the
Z-Trip was the first one I saw.
and BPM. I mean,
because there was no machine for us to check the BPMs.
not
So
at all.
I remember seeing a video on Z-Trip, and he would check the BPM for every record, and then he would have a sticker that he put on every.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, I was like, that's some super nerd shit.
and I
I'm
get
like,
a lot of the secondhand records I get will have the label on it. It'll say, you know,
Yeah.
105, 102, fucking
I used to be like, what is this?
F sharp or some
What's it,
shit like
98?
that. Yeah,
Then someone, you're like that. You thought that was a price too.
I didn't think of price. I was just like, what
Even-
is this?
I keep my shit so like, even my Serato records, like I don't do any like sub crates. I just do like mimic my iTunes. I'm like so general, and then with the records, I'm just hip hop alphabetized, with the exception of a couple of labels. I'll probably put like, you know, the bad boy shit and the Rockefeller shit, because it's just two prominent labels that are going to
At
be
that
in the
time.
cases.
Yep.
But other than that, all the hip hop just alphabetized. I don't have like a Dirty South section. I don't have that, like, which is weird because I know that's how a lot of people will group it too. But I just don't do that. I'm just like, you know, Lil Wayne goes after this one,
It's in the hip hop,
and then I
it's
have
in the
my
R&B.
R&B crate. If there's a dancehall crate or something, or a rock crate,
I should have
alphabetized.
I
That's
have
it.
my bag of dancehall.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. I just miss being able to like turn around and like fix your vinyl and get like other vinyl ready.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're just in front of the computer with Serato, you have to do like other shit.
Right.
Like you have to like be
You have to kill
performative.
time.
Well, you got to be performative and like
Look at the calisthenics. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3,
The work shit-
4, 3, 2, 1,
yeah,
1.
yeah, you got to do all this other shit, and then it's like I always hated it if I played a song that didn't go over well. It was like impossible to hide my face.
You couldn't turn around and make it look like you.
So like
picking
in my
another
face,
record,
I'm
but you-
mumbling to myself. I would either be cursing myself out, or I'd be cursing the crowd out. You
You
fucking
stupid motherfuckers.
like you fucking peasants. You don't know this fucking song, but you see my face like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
you fuck, and I'm typing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you motherfuckers, go fuck yourself. You're dancing to four of the songs,
Yeah.
but you're not gonna dance to this
To
song.
this one, right.
What like when you had like vinyl, you could turn around and curse yourself out while you're looking for vinyl. And no one would see like the reaction. You could,
So the
or
only
like,
thing changes you cursing that
Yeah,
way
or
or
you-
this way.
Yeah,
I remember
at light, it, like you used to have we could turn to the records and to our drink. So it's like,
yeah,
get it all out.
yeah. Your vinyl's on the floor. You go down on the floor. You're like,
Fine, I'll play
man,
Eminem
yeah.
without
Yeah.
me again. Yeah.
yeah. Just be like fucking crowd. You're gonna
Yeah.
fucking
Fuck
dance to
these
this and you
motherfuckers.
got all this other shit. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh
You
my
could kind of hide in the vinyl. A little
And that's also like vinyl's a great way to not have to deal with requests too. Like, so no, don't.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Don't
That's
have
all I
that
have.
Bad Bunny record.
No, they didn't make it on vinyl. They don't have it on vinyl yet.
Don't have that Bad Bunny
I
record.
don't have that.
I'm gonna buy you the Bad Bunny record.
I don't want that.
Do they have Bad Bunny on vinyl? Probably.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
it's
They
a
have his
pink.
greatest-
It's a pink vinyl.
But they have a box. He has a box set too. Bad
Amazing.
Bunny's greatest hits on box set, like a box set.
We gotta get you that. I know what to get you for Christmas now.
Yeah, I need some placemats.
How much are you spending on vinyl a month? You think?
I on average, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred, maybe.
That's it?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it's not every month. Like I'll put in a big order that'll have a bunch of good Pee Wee editions, maybe a couple for me on the side. Now, I mean, the Pee Wee stuff is at the forefront of my shopping. The time that I put in shopping, but if it's a cool seller and I'm like, let me look at the 45s that they got.
Do you remember what your budget was like in the 2000s and in the 90s? Like how much you were spending a month on vinyl?
More than I was making.
How much were you spending? I remember I had a budget.
I was spending like around between 100 and 150 a week.
Yeah, so like 500.
And that'd get you a good amount of records though too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 inches were probably $5,
Yeah.
$4.99. Well, Rock and Soul was like what, $4.99?
$4.99.
Yep, but then if you go, and then when you start getting the house, if you go to like Decadence back in the day, which is
Right.
like a dance record store, fucking Decadence was like $11.99 or $12.99 for an import.
That was like the average budget, like 500.
Yeah.
I remember like my budget when I first started was about 8. Because you're trying to get the old,
You have
like
to catch up.
You got to catch up. I got to get like the fucking Sheila E. extended version of Glamorous Life, right? I got to get. I got to find like a Nirvana like album like import that maybe cost $49.95 or some shit at the time.
And go and do your $300 gig or $200. Like,
right.
back then, you're spending more than you make.
I know, right?
But that's the thing is like now it's like, you get to see a lot more of your money. There's not a whole lot of operating expenses.
These
other than
DJs are like
maybe a
bitching
record
about
pool.
like a 20
Subscription?
like a 20 or 30
Fuck that,
a
yo.
$30 subscription a
Yeah.
month.
Be a vinyl DJ for a month and go record shop, and
I
you will
think
run back to that $20 a month or whatever the record.
I mean, even like if you want to buy an album, like one of like the like those albums are getting repressed now, they're like $30 or some shit like that.
Yeah, and that's even
still a
a
little.
lot.
Yeah.
I remember that when we were buying records for Intrigue, because we went. They sent us shopping. We drove out to LA. We went to Amoeba and a couple other spots, Shmi, Shecky, and Chalvoy, just to buy records that lived at the venue. Because they were like, oh, if we have DJs, we could just have them pull records off the wall. They could still DJ even if they're not a vinyl DJ. I'm like, okay, good luck with that. It's still a little stressful if
Right.
you're going in as a digital DJ and trying to do a 4-hour set of vinyl, and they're not your records, so you're just basically, which is like, that's how like that Gold Line bar, which is Peanut Butter Wolf's place, that's attached to Stone's Throw. He has like an audio, like a hi-fi bar called the Gold Line bar, and I saw AP was taking pictures there. I was like, yo, where's this spot? He's like, oh, that's this place. But I think they have a rule where I think those are all Peanut Butter Wolf's records on the walls. And you have to, if you want to DJ there, you have to use the records on the walls. You can't. You have to curate a set off of what lives there.
Wow.
Which is interesting.
How's like
Yeah,
DJ not for somebody else's computer?
Yeah, which I've never been a fan of that.
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot what it was like to DJ with someone else's crates.
Oh, like vinyl crates
I
or
remember
crates
that, though, like
on Serato.
No, on vinyl.
Would
I
that be
remember,
difficult if you were DJing with his crates, with Never's
I remember
crates?
like going in to visit 11, and 11 would like go to the bathroom, and then I'd have to like play a couple joints on vinyl, and just going through, and I'm being like, why does he organize it this way?
You think,
I know.
like and it's
what
just
the
like,
fuck? Why
And I'm
alphabet like this?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to find Eve. Who's that girl? Where the fuck is it? Like, why would
Where
you-
is that girl?
And he's like, oh, I put it here with this, and I'm like, why would you put it there? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I'm bad off
Pretty
other
much.
people's laptops though. When I'm like, everything is either an intro or everything is a remix. There's like, where's just the original?
The original
Can
cut,
I just get the original version? Like everything's like a cut down or a quick like this and
I never
special
understood
remix.
that.
there's more intro and outro than there is actual song.
I never understood the short, cut down version.
The short
All you got to
version?
do is end the song
Just
earlier.
fucking end the song.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
understand.
Or the quick hit one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand
To chorus and a
why
verse.
we need to download an
Come on.
MP3.
Yeah.
where the chorus. Yeah, I like where it goes into an extended outro after the
Right.
second chorus.
I don't
didn't
get
get
it.
it.
I don't get
Just
it.
end it.
Just end it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Just
definitely a West Coast thing.
Yeah.
with you guys.
Why you guys? I'm more you guys than them. So
No, you're them. You're them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that and I was
Dude, there's
I
so
was a
many-
big, even though I played a lot of them, if they were really good, but like there was that era where everything, like all the overabundance of transition records.
Oh, I hate it.
It was one after the other,
Fuck.
and I would hear some DJs. I don't want to say names, but I remember who they were. That would build a whole fucking set of them. I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? You're playing a set of transitions. So it's literally like, let's do it 98 to 124, and then a 124 to 88, and then an 88 to 105, and then I'm like, can you just fucking figure out what the fuck what you're doing here?
I admire those DJs though.
But it's like, but
I can't do that. Yeah, I want to be able.
No,
to
you
do
shouldn't
that.
want to do that. I don't admire those DJs.
I admire them a lot.
Oh God!
So I'm like,
Fucking
yo,
cop out.
I'm like, he just went from 128 to 70.
No, but the thing is, if you're a professional DJ and you can't take it from one tempo to the other within like 3 records of something, doing something tactful, and you're gonna lean on another fucking one of these fucking edits or something. Don't get me wrong, some of them were so dope that they were just in and of itself, that transition and how they dressed it up was just such a banger. But they were few and far between.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm like, that's really, I'm making my life harder. I'm like, this guy's got to figure it out. This DJ's got to figure it out. He's got every transition from 128 to 65, 128 to 90.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to fucking figure it out. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
I need I need a fucking creative just transition. Yeah. Where I could just.
I want to hear one that goes from no beats per minute. That's just ambient music that turns into, that goes to hard style in 8 seconds. Yeah, it's like
that goes beyond sound.
1 second you're at a spa getting massaged. Next thing you're in a K-hole.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Well, this is exciting, man. I'm
thank
curious
you.
to see where it's going.
Yeah, me too. But we're really excited about it. We're hopeful. We got, like I said, we got some other DJs to announce that are going to be part of the vinyl collective.
Yeah,
that we're getting.
Well, I feel like this is a very clear like branding identity for you guys. You know, and to not just be this like Las Vegas DJ agency.
Right.
I feel like this is like kind of a really organic, and like it's something that really identifies to like something you've been working on your whole life.
Yeah.
And been a part of your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
you know,
it's great.
It's like really on brand for you and who you've been for as long as I've known you, and even Never's known.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I mean, we've been playing, like you said. I mean, we've been playing. Not just DJing together, but playing records together since like 1998.
Yeah.
You know,
crazy.
It's great.
Yeah.
Wait till the Latino version comes out of Mac Agency. That new division, bro.
Let's go. You can head it.
It's just me.
Is it possible to launch a Latin conglomerate and just ban Bad Bunny?
Oh, God.
You probably erase that too. I'll have like, it's like, why is so much Bad Bunny hate? Like, what's he saying?
Anything else you want to touch on, Pause?
No, just stay tuned for a lot of exciting things coming out of just Mac Agency and as well as obviously the Vinyl Collective. There's some stuff that's in the works that you'll be hearing about in the next couple of weeks, and some exciting new artist announcements, and keep an eye out.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, Eddie McDonald, glad to have you back, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.